Okay, so here's something to think about. The US has spent decades trying to stop Iran from developing nuclear weapons. But now we're at a point where the president is giving them just 10 to 15 days to make a deal. Or else. That's not just a deadline, it's a ticking clock with global stakes.
And it's not just about the deadline, is it? It's about the way this is being framed. On one hand, Trump is talking about an off-ramp, a way to avoid conflict. But on the other hand, you've got US fighter jets and aircraft carriers already in the region. It's like saying, we want peace, but we're ready for war.
Exactly. And then there's this idea of the secret words Trump says he's waiting to hear from Iran. It's such a loaded phrase, isn't it? It makes you wonder, what exactly are these secret words? Is it just a declaration that they'll never pursue nuclear weapons, or is there more to it? And while we're all guessing, the stakes couldn't be higher. This isn't just about two countries. It's about the entire Middle East.
That's what makes this so tense. The US is demanding that Iran completely end its uranium enrichment program, not just for weapons, but for anything, even civilian purposes like energy production. But Iran is pushing back, saying they have a right to enrich uranium on their own soil. It's a classic standoff, and it's hard to see how either side backs down without losing face.
And Trump's position leaves very little room for compromise. He's been clear. No enrichment means no enrichment. He's even mocked Iran's claims about civilian use, calling it uncivil. But here's where it gets even more complicated. The US isn't just asking for an end to enrichment. They're also demanding that Iran destroy its main nuclear sites and hand over all remaining enriched uranium to the US. That's a huge ask, and it's hard to imagine Iran agreeing to it.
And it's not just about the nuclear program, is it? The US is also demanding restrictions on Iran's ballistic missile program. Trump even claimed in his State of the Union address that Iran is close to developing a missile that could strike the US. But here's the thing. Experts and intelligence reports have cast doubt on that claim. They're saying it's exaggerated, which raises questions about the justification for these demands.
Right, but even if the claim is exaggerated, the perception of threat is powerful. Iran does have the largest ballistic missile force in the Middle East, and their missiles can reach Israel, US bases in the region, and parts of Europe. That alone is enough to keep tensions high. And then there's the issue of Iran's support for proxy groups like Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis. The US wants Iran to end that support and pledge not to use violence against protesters. It's another layer to an already complex situation.
And those proxy groups are such a key part of Iran's strategy for wielding influence across the Middle East. They're essentially a shadow army, carrying out attacks on Israel, US troops, and even commercial shipping. But since the Israeli attacks on Iran's nuclear sites last summer, their activity seems to have decreased. So, how significant are they at this point?
That's a good question. On one hand, these groups are still a major part of Iran's regional strategy. But on the other hand, their diminished activity could be a sign that Iran is feeling the pressure. Either way, the US wants a clear commitment from Iran to end its support for these groups. It's about more than just military strategy. It's about sending a message to the region and the world.
And that message is clear. The US is not backing down. But here's the thing. This isn't just about Iran. It's about the broader implications for the Middle East and beyond. If these negotiations fail and the US takes military action, the ripple effects could be massive. We're talking about potential conflicts involving multiple countries, disruptions to global oil markets, and even a new wave of refugees.
And that's why this moment feels so pivotal. On one side, you've got the US pushing for a deal that includes no uranium enrichment, restrictions on ballistic missiles, and an end to support for proxy groups, all with no expiration date. On the other side, you've got Iran, which sees these demands as an attack on its sovereignty and national pride. And in the middle, you've got this looming deadline and the very real threat of military action.
It's a high-stakes game, no doubt about it. The question is whether diplomacy can prevail, or whether we're heading toward a conflict that could have far-reaching consequences. It's a delicate balance, and the next few weeks are going to be critical. But one thing's for sure. This isn't just about nuclear weapons. It's about power, influence, and the future of the Middle East.
And that's exactly why the world is watching. Whatever happens next, it's going to shape the region and the world for years to come.